everyone, welcome back to From Clicks to Cash. Today I'm talking to Matt Canterbury, a West Virginia senior portrait photographer with a story that will kind of blow your mind. 5 years ago, photography wasn't even on his radar. He was working in chemical research and development, playing guitar in a band and living small town life. And then Christmas morning 2019, his wife surprised him with a drone. He started flying it around town, just taking some aerial shots of mountains and landscapes. People saw his work and started asking, hey, can you take my picture? Problem was, you can't really shoot portraits with a drone, so Matt bought himself a camera. Fast forward 6 years, Matt just quit his day job in December to go full-time. He's winning state photography competitions and he's booked solid with senior sessions. And here's the kicker, he never spent any money on advertising. Not a single dollar. Everything comes from word of mouth and being ridiculously active on social media. His setup, just one light, Godox AD600 Pro with massive 48-inch softbox. He shoots wide open at f1.2 using high-speed sync to kill ambient lighting. He creates moody, high-contrast portraits in high school gyms, hallways, football stadiums, libraries. Turns around galleries in 24 hours, and he admits that he's terrible at pricing but makes it work anyway because his clients simply love him. Matt's story is a proof that you don't need fancy gear, expensive ads, or years of experience. You need authenticity, a willingness to fail publicly, and the guts to just start. So this is the conversation every photographer who's sitting on the fence needs to hear today. Here's Matt. Good morning, Matt. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing better than you because seems like you just got off the plane, right? You've been traveling.
Yeah.
You've been a busy guy.
Very busy.
Where'd you come? What's the last convention? Maybe let's ask this way. What's the last convention you came back from?
So I got home. Was it yesterday? Yes, yesterday afternoon. I got home from my West Virginia state conference, the Professional Photographers of West Virginia, and it's like 3.5 hours away from here. So
yeah, so you were flying all over the place and driving. This one was driving apparently.
Yeah,
but you also went to WPPI,
yes.
Imaging USA.
Yes,
you were at Sync. So let me ask you this question: if you, it's almost not a fair question to the organizers, but I have to ask. For you specifically, because people are on different levels. Maybe ask for the audience sake. For a beginner, which do you think is which one would you recommend for somebody that's starting out?
I think it really, for me, it depends on the style of shooting that you're doing. So if you're doing senior photography specifically, Sync is where it's at. I mean, because you're surrounded by senior photographers. The whole thing's catered to senior, classes and stuff like that. And like the sense of community is really strong and everybody's very supportive there. And I've been there one time, and since I've left, I've met some of probably my best friends now. Some of my new best friends came from spending 4 days at Sync. That's how close it got. But if you're not doing senior stuff, you're trying to do families and all kinds of other things. To me, I think imaging is probably the right speed. WPPI felt like a lot to me, but I think, I'm a country guy. I don't go to the big cities much, and just being dropped in the middle of Las Vegas was a lot at first. And then the conference just, I don't know, it just felt different, but I think a lot of that was because of the location. So WPPI and imaging are very similar, but imaging feels more my speed. So Sync if you're a senior guy, and imaging if you're dabbling in a little bit of everything.
I appreciate you doing the broadcast from WPPI. I was following your content. Oh, yeah. I was kind of jealous for the treatment you got, because it was a royal treatment with the hotel room. What happened?
Oh, It was so I was completely caught off guard by that. So when the check-in process was an absolute nightmare. It was just these little kiosks. You didn't There was only 2 people working the entire hotel check-in desk. The line was a mile long. It was a nightmare.
Mhm.
So we go to this, my wife and I were at the little kiosk, and it says for $20 extra a night, we can upgrade you to the 180 suite. And I was like, whatever gets us in quicker. That sounds okay. It's 20 extra bucks a night.
Yeah.
We're in Vegas. Let's splurge a little.
Yeah.
So yeah, we did it, and we opened the door to that room, and I have never in my life been in something like there's no way I could have prepared for that room. The windows, it just kept on going. And there's windows in the bathroom. I mean, we could see all of Las Vegas, and it was awesome. But like the worst
Yeah.
part about it is we had to actually check out of that hotel room one day
Uh-huh.
before we flew out because we could
Mhm.
only get it for a small window.
Yeah, yeah.
So we checked out of that window and went to a hotel across the street that wasn't nearly that nice. And I was like, man, we were living good there for a minute. I mean, I'm still happy that we're together and in Vegas, but this is sad.
Yeah, for a country guy like you or me, because I'm in a small town with a lot of retirees, it might have been overwhelming. It was, and for those of you guys that did not see, first of all, I recommend go to Matt's profile, Facebook profile page, and you will see for yourself. But it was just an infinite wall of just windows and glass, and he saw the whole Vegas. It was just spectacular. What hotel was it? Was it Rio?
It was, yeah, we're in the Rio. We were in
Uh,
I think it was, we were on the 36th floor, and I think there was 39 floor. We were close to the top. We was almost as top as you could go.
yeah,
And
yeah.
man, it was why if anybody ever can go get the 180 suite at the Rio, I highly recommend spending a night there because it's something you'll never forget. We slept with the windows open, and
Yeah.
we woke up, and it's just the sunrise over Las Vegas, and we're just laying in bed, just looking out the window. I'm like, this is the vacation right here, like why, you hear in these casinos, they want you out of your rooms, they want you down there in the casino, they want you gambling and spending money, and I'm like, they made this room too good because no one would ever want to leave this because we
Thanks for
spent a lot of time in the room. It was nice.
Thanks for rubbing it in, Matt. So,
Oh, I'm sorry. It was terrible. It was the worst. I'm sorry.
so yeah, so good experience, definitely. You recommended Sync. I
Yeah.
think I wasn't aware even that I have a conference sort of in my backyard because I'm probably like hour and a half away, maybe 2 hours. I'm on the East Coast between like Daytona and Jacksonville, so
Okay.
it's within driving distance.
Oh, yeah.
Um, Enough about conferences. I want to go back in time. We're getting into a
Sure.
photography DeLorean. We're punching in a date. We're going back. I want to hear about photography and when it sort of entered your life. Were you sort of the first in the family weirdo with a camera? Was it always like art was always your thing? Tell us a little bit about that.
Okay. So photography happened as an accident. I mean, this was never when I was in high school and middle school, I had my buddy Timmy and we used to record these little videos and stuff. We all had a little camera, and we would do like stunts. That was back when the whole stunt thing was going on, and
Yeah.
we'd go out there and we'd do that. Then we started writing these little scripted things, but that was all just little video projects that we did just for fun. And then it kind of just we got older, it went out of my life. Music was actually my first passion. I've played guitar for 30 some years. I was in a band for a long time. Um, that was the dream. A lot of us wanted to be rock stars when we were kids, and mine kind of, it started strong. We had a pretty decent following around here, and then we got older. We all had kids. It fizzled out.
Mhm.
And then I went to college for broadcasting and journalism because, there was a desire for something there. And it ended up being more like script writing and stuff like that, and like television studio video work. And it wasn't really for me. So I ended up dropping out of that, and I just got a job, and I just worked a normal job for a long time. And then I guess it was 5 years ago now,
Mhm.
Christmas morning, we woke up and our kids opened up all their presents, and I was like, everybody had a great day. And all of a sudden my wife whips out this drone and she's like, here, I got you a drone. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. And so I go outside and I'm flying this drone. It's freezing cold. And, I flew it up high, started taking pictures around town. And then I started hiking to these remote locations, flying this thing up in the air and taking drone shots of famous mountain sides and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I started posting them in town. All of a sudden I started getting messages like, hey man, you're pretty good with that drone. You're really good at taking pictures. Do you mind? Would you maybe take my picture? And I'm like,
Yeah.
well, I can't do that with a drone really. So I talked to my wife. I said, why don't I get a little camera and just play with it? So I bought my first camera. It was about 5 years ago, and it has snowballed to where it's at now. And it's something that I could have never imagined in my life. So it all started with a surprise Christmas drone.
So hold on. You just hold on. My mind just skipped a beat. So your, let's call it career, started in photography started 5 years ago?
Yes.
Holy crap. Okay, this is mind blowing. The things just got better. Okay, yeah. Okay. So it was a Christmas gift, kind of.
Yes.
Okay.
And
go ahead.
Go ahead. Sorry. No, you're good. Go ahead.
So you got the camera, and who's your first victim? Who's your first target? Because seniors are your wheelhouse, and I was just like, did he just grab like a neighbor's kid and like, I'll do photos for you, and it just sort of snowballed into something bigger, or was it just a thing where, I don't know, intentionally you're like, I'm gonna do seniors because maybe you saw it online? Like, what's the story with that?
Okay, so I got on Facebook, and it was before I had my business account or anything. It was just all through my personal account. I was like, hey, does anybody want to go just take some pictures and just play around with this thing? And a local girl, her name's Kelly. I haven't spoken to her in a while, but she was like, I'd love to do it. So we walked around and we just took it. They were fine. They were, I was stoked at the moment. I was like, this is so much fun. Looking back now, I'm like, oh gosh, I don't know what I was really thinking, but, then, I got into some lighting. I got some off camera flash, and, my niece, Sadie, who, I have two nieces, Sadie and Isabel, they have both been instrumental in helping me progress, because I'm like, hey guys, let's take some pictures, please. Let's take pictures. Luckily they like it, and they enjoyed going out, and I didn't mind looking stupid in front of them, because they're family. And I've had a handful of people along the way that I could call someone right now and be like, hey, let's take pictures, and they'd be like,
nice,
we're there. Yeah. So I would say my kids, first of all, they were my real guinea pigs. And then they're like, we're done. We don't want to do this anymore. We're sick of taking pictures at somebody else.
Yeah. So 5 years ago, YouTube is around, coaches are around. I'm curious, how did you, because obviously at one point, you're starting fresh, right? This is 5 years ago.
Right. Yep.
How did you go in 5 years from not knowing or experimenting to like now being a mentor? Because, as I don't know if you know, but people look up to you. You're a big name in the industry, right? So was it YouTube? Was it books? Was it mentors? Was it just trial, error, fail, fix? Like, how did that happen?
Yeah, that one. Trial, error, fail, and fix. I mean, my whole career has been trial and error.
Yeah.
I think, I started going to a lot of sport events, local high school games, local, basketball and volleyball, all the sporting events. And, some of those kids, I know we're such a small community. Everybody knows everybody here. So, they saw, oh, I didn't know you're taking pictures now. My kids are graduating here. Would you book that? And then I took their pictures, and then their friends saw that. And, I would book their friends because of what I would post on Facebook. So, yeah, I don't know. I post one thing on Facebook, and that would lead to something else. And that's kind of been my career. It's still that way. And I post something on Facebook, someone sees it, and that opens up another window. So
it's word of mouth. Are you advertising anywhere?
I've advertised very, very little. I'm currently not advertising anything.
Yeah.
And when I was advertising, it was like the low, you can spend $5 over a week, or I was like,
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
want to put too much money into this. I don't know what I'm doing. So I would say my advertising was non-existent at that
yeah,
price. So, and no, it's all word of mouth. It's just, I put my entire life on social media. It's probably a problem. Um, I don't know. I like being open with everyone, so I just
yeah.
post everything.
Yeah, I got to tell you, vulnerability, being honest with people. I
Yep.
actually discovered that later in life because I thought you have to like create an image and be somebody you're not really. Like I noticed that the imperfection, just being you, just being just being a human, kind of works better, with
Yeah.
people. Not
Yeah.
surprisingly, right?
Well, I
Um,
mean, for me, that's the only way I know to be is be myself.
yeah,
Quick funny story. We were at the conference, the West Virginia conference, and it was the awards night. And everybody's like, "You're going to get a few awards," and I'm like, "Okay, that's." I was super excited. My buddy's like, "You're going to put on a nicer shirt than that, right?" My buddy Perry, he kind of keeps me in check. I'm like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "This is me." So I wear this shirt. I have about 40 of this same shirt, and this is my uniform. This is what I wear. And he's like, "You better go put on a shirt.
yeah,
Go
yeah.
put on a nice shirt." So if you see me in the pictures of me accepting my awards, I was wearing that shirt against my will, and that it's hard for
Yeah,
me to
and
do
I and
that.
I gotta tell you, it's so funny because it's that social stigma, right? People's expectations towards you, like you should be wearing, something else. But the thing is,
Yeah.
part of me reaching out, feeling comfortable reaching out to you, is because you seemed very approachable. Like you seemed like a relaxed dude that I can easily talk
Awesome.
to. This is somebody up there that's just like part of this show was like part of the podcast was like let's just bring in great photographers here that don't have a problem with ego yet, because those are the people that are going to be willing to help other people,
Yeah.
and we don't have to put them on the pedestal. We can just have a conversation, right? So it's
Right.
like I totally agree with that approach. I know one of the posts that I saw, maybe it was on your website, I don't know, I saw it somewhere, that you said, "I'll teach you anything but pricing." It's like
Yeah, we
I
don't talk
suck
about pricing.
at suck at pricing. And do you think it's part of like the "I'm not worthy" kind of the identity, that you don't think you're there yet? Or is it just you don't really care about the business aspect? I mean, you're busy enough, and that's good enough.
Uh, it's a little bit of both. I'm not comfortable taking people's money. I mean, I understand that that's part of it,
Yeah,
but it's so hard for me to say. Maybe I don't know. It's just I've always struggled with pricing.
yeah,
Everyone that I talk to is like, when I tell them how much I charge, they're like, "What are you doing? Why are you you need to double or triple whatever you're doing and stop doing what you're doing right now." But
yeah,
I don't know, it's just hard. It's in this area too, it's like we're very, like I said, it's a very small community.
yep,
Uh, it's hard. Money's hard to come by for all of us, and
yeah,
pictures, I didn't have pictures really growing up, and I don't know, it's pricing is bad for me. It's a problem. It's a
yeah,
problem.
yeah, yeah. It is, and a lot of times we also judge. I know when I'm setting my prices, it's like I almost look at it through the lens of my wallet, right? So, but it's
Yeah,
I've talked to the mentor once, and he said it's not how you think. It's like people prioritize things differently. Maybe you would spend more on cars, but your wife would spend more on vacation. So like that's one way to look at it. Other
right.
people are just able to afford. And the thing is, if you're going to get super super busy, let's say 200 people show up at your door right now and are asking for senior portraits, like you kind of have to choose. You either scale with other photographers, or you say, "Hey, no, this is kind of a boutique style, this is what I offer," and then you have to elevate the price. It's just the thing
Right.
you have to do. So yeah, so totally. And I don't think I spoke to, out of maybe 10 photographers, 2 photographers feel okay with pricing, so don't feel bad about it.
Oh, that's good. That's good to know I'm not the only one.
Before we start looking at your work, like creativity is one of those things where like it's usually there. What if it's not there? Like, what do you do? Like when creativity is not in play, do you look at your past work? Do you look at work of other people? What do you do?
S Sometimes I'll pull up Pinterest, and just maybe grab some ideas from there.
Uh-huh.
There's so like I said, there's photographers my whole Facebook feed is photographers, so it's constant. I'm surrounded by inspiration all the time. So maybe if I'm feeling a little not creative one day, I'll be like, hey, I want to go check out this guy and see what they're doing. Maybe I'll grab some stuff from them. Not I don't like to steal a pose directly and just copy it and mimic it and make it my own, where I'll make it my own in one way, whether it be lighting or I'll tweak the pose a little bit or something like that. But no, I draw inspiration from so many people, so many.
Yeah, I gotta tell you, we still use at weddings cheat sheets, printed cheat sheets of
Yeah,
just work of other people, our work. We just kind of mix it in, and this thing about like stealing. So let's just face it. The thing is, even if I take your photo and try to replicate it, there's absolutely no way I can like copy it per se, right? It'll be close.
right.
It'll be like it'll
Sure.
be inspired by, but like it'll never be
Right.
the same. Sometimes I have clients coming in and like, hey, we want this, and I'm like, we can do something around it, we can use it as an inspiration, but like it's
Yeah.
definitely not gonna look, the lighting, the poses, people hug differently, people kiss differently.
Right.
So it's always like senior and another senior, even when you tell them to like stand and lean against the wall, it will be different every time, right?
Oh yeah. Right. Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
sometimes a client will come in and they'll be like, I want to recreate this, and they show me, and it's like the greatest photographer I've ever seen in my life. The image they're showing me, and I'm like, oh my god, and, talk about now I'm feeling pressure, I'm feeling stressed, but no, lots of times when clients come in, they're wanting to recreate photos that I have taken of other people. They're like, we saw this picture, we want to do this exact. And I'm like, great. I know exactly how to set that up. So lots of times they're bringing my own photos to their session, and they
yeah.
just want to kind of do the same thing. And that's really, it's very nice to know that they enjoyed my photos enough to want to have them for themselves. That makes me feel really good. So
Yeah, cool. Let's look at your work. And the
sure.
problem with your work was I was going through your website trying to choose images, and I'm like, there's just so many. So what I
Oh,
figured
thank you.
I would do, I pulled some images. Let me see. Photos. Let's see if we can look at some photos. I pulled a few,
Okay.
and I'll just go with random questions. If we need to stop, if there's
Sure.
like a image that you want to specifically comment on, just stop me and let's talk about it.
Okay.
But the thing is, I already mentioned your wheelhouse are the senior portraits. They're
Yep.
like super moody, high contrast, dark backgrounds. The subjects are just popping out of the picture. And I'm curious, equipment wise, are you like equipment heavy, a lot of soft boxes, 2, 3 lights, or is it just basic bare bulb, one light, quick and dirty kind of a guy?
Most of the time I'm a one light guy. I will use two lights on occasion, but I'm always using a Godox AD600 Pro or a Flashpoint AD600 Pro, whichever one. It
Yep.
is a heavy light. It's a pretty big light, but that light it always has enough power no matter how bright it is outside. It's never failed me. So to me, that's the perfect light.
Yeah.
And I love a 48-inch soft. I love a massive softbox because of the soft light that I can get from those big modifiers is just I love it. Yeah,
Yeah.
sometimes I will use a 24-inch, but that's a slightly harsher modifier. But no, lots of time you can see me. I'm lugging this giant this light around with this massive softbox, but
Yeah.
it's the way I've done it. I've got it. It's pretty portable now. So
So you said I see you carrying around. I think I see your assistant
oh yeah,
carrying around.
yeah. My wife
So
and son carry it around for me a lot of times. So I should say that. Yeah, you're right. Good call.
were you ever able to shoot with the softbox without assistance, or do you always have somebody there?
No, sometimes I have a boom stand that I can throw a sandbag on, and where it can stretch out. I don't need an assistant to really lean it in for me and put it where I need. I can get a little bit when I'm using that boom stand, it gives me the freedom to kind of go without an assistant. I still prefer an assistant all day long, but I do have a system in place for when my wife, she works, my son's in school and sports, and so he's not always available.
Yep.
Lots of times, the parent of the senior that I'm working with, they'll help hold. I'll carry it, but they'll keep a hand on it so it doesn't blow away and stuff like that. So But I
Yeah.
do have a no assistant set up if I need it.
You gotta come up with one of those Joey Hernandez style backpacks with like lighting behind him.
Yeah. Yeah, every time I see him post something on Facebook, it's like he's like the Inspector Gadget of flash photography. It's always something new.
Yeah, yeah.
It's funny.
Um,
So this
the
girl right here, that's my niece Sadie. So she's I mentioned she was one of my very first guinea pigs. So this
uh
was I first started taking pictures of her when I think she was in 7th grade, and this is her senior session. So, um, you know, it's kind of a
very,
fun
very
full circle moment. Yeah.
very cool. When you do those images, is it usually a single person, or do you have like do you do volume photography for like volleyball? Do you do it for the entire team, or is it just individuals?
I have done some volume stuff, but it's not for me.
Uh-huh.
I like taking one person and spending 2 hours with them. Um,
Yeah,
I don't like groups. I really just like working with one person because I find it's easier to get creative with lighting when you're only lighting one person. So
yeah,
I tend to go this route instead of the volume route.
totally.
Yeah.
The I look at your photos. You shoot in gyms, hallways, libraries, stadiums, places that other people would not normally touch. Do you just kind of like show up, snap photos, and hoping that nobody's gonna kick you out, or is there an actual
Yeah.
process in place where you're like calling ahead, booking spaces, and how does that work?
Well, like I said, the schools we're a very small community. We're welcome into the school basically all the time. It's not especially this school that we're seeing in this picture right here. This is my high school. Graduated from here. Um, we can go pretty every hall anywhere in this school and take pictures. But even the schools that I didn't go to, I know enough people. Like I know the teachers inside the school, and they're like, "Oh, yeah, this is fine." So access to schools. I see a lot of people when I post pictures. They're like, "How in the world did you get into the school? How
Yeah,
did you get on the track?" And I was like, "Yeah, I don't know. It wasn't hard." And I feel like I don't ever have a good answer for them because I've never really struggled with getting into our local high schools.
yeah,
Um, we have, I went to Morgantown, West Virginia, to West Virginia University, and now that one's harder to get into, because that's the big football
yeah.
stadium, the college football stadium. So we took pictures outside of that on the
Mhm.
sidewalk and stuff like that. So it was in the background. So it's not always possible to get in, but lots of times I just say, "Hey, can we get in?" And they're like, "Sure."
Yeah,
So
yeah. So
I think I'm just
this
lucky. Honestly, I'm lucky.
Yeah, true. And I think it's that the magic is I think it's the small community where you can
Yeah.
they
Yes.
kind of trust you. You're probably how many photographers kind of at your level are in that community, right? So it just trust that you've developed probably over time.
Right.
I was those are like my favorite photos here. I'm scrolling through this guy.
Okay.
One of my favorite shots, and teenagers are usually they're not talkers. And when it comes to like communicating with adults, a lot of times it's like you almost seem like this senior whisperer. Because I was just curious, like how do you extract from them like the things that they like. I mean, to get us like a senior to pose in front of the tractor, it's probably challenging, but it seems like for you it's not. I see you shooting in like libraries with books. There's an image, I think I have it here somewhere, like this girl here, where
Mhm.
this was amazing with the reflection
Thank
of
you.
her being a basketball right player.
Yep. Yep.
How what's your process? How do you like communicate beforehand, and just pitch them on the idea, or do they already come in kind of knowing what you do, and it's like they uh, feed you all the information? Tell us more about this.
Sometimes I'll have a conversation beforehand. Lots of times I'm showing up. I've never seen this place. I don't know what props we have available. I have no clue. I do kind of know roundabout what the senior is into. Um,
Mhm.
but I'm just like, be yourself. Yeah, I'm going to be myself while I'm taking the pictures. Just be yourself. And so I'm not going to be the guy that's like, oh yeah, hold it, nice, perfect, nailed it. I'm not going to be your typical what you see on the movies kind of photographer. We're going to figure this out together. And
Nice.
it always starts a little stiff. Everyone's a little bit
Yeah.
nervous at first, but
Yeah.
once they open up and they realize, hey, this isn't so bad. This isn't
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah. True.
let's go get on this tractor. My grandpa's got a tractor over here. He'll pull it out, no problem. I'm like, all right, pull it out. Let's figure it out.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really how I'd go about every session. I mean, the picture we're looking at here, Ava was like, I play 2 sports, and I was like, hey, how about we capture both sports in one thing? I'm like, this is going to be really hard. So whenever, because we actually took both pictures here. It is photoshopped together, but
Yeah.
without getting too deep into how I created this, because it is pretty technical, she couldn't move her feet went in between outfit changes, so we had to like plan the way she changed her outfit,
Wow.
because she couldn't. It's not like she could walk away and come back.
Yeah.
So I was like, don't move your feet when you come back down into this crouching pose. Make sure your arms are the same. Get your hair the same, because it needs to match. And
Wow.
this was a tough shot. This probably took us 30 minutes to get this one shot.
Holy crap. Yeah. And
but sometimes it takes time,
Yeah, that's the advantage of having that big window, right? When you say you shoot for an hour or two, it allows you to pull those poses. You shoot this other photo here. Maybe it's more visible here with the light wardrobe. So you shoot a ton of like reflections, puddles, mirrors, windows. There's no way you're polishing the floor every time at the gym, right? So,
right.
So I'm assuming Photoshop magic. Is this how you do it? Is it all Photoshop work?
No, I mean there is a little bit of tweaking in Photoshop, but most of what you're seeing right there is straight out of camera.
Wow.
I do. I mean, I do. Everybody says, "What'd you do? Mop the floor? Would you go in 3 hours before and wax that sucker before you took that picture?" I'm like, no. I mean, things are just when you hold the camera right and you light it well, the reflections just happen naturally. And I've kind of just figured out exactly how to do that. And with the mud puddle, or you go outside, you find it's been raining. I can make this exact same image outside in the rain, and no, you can't polish a mud puddle. What are you going to do? So it's all in the way you hold the camera and the way you light it. Like I said, there is a little bit of enhancing here, but it's a matter of raising the shadows and raising the highlights a little bit. It's not like I'm going in and pressing a magic shine button or something. You know what I mean? It's very minimal editing on these photos.
Totally. I think I've seen this, actually not this image. I know it's this one, but seems like it's the same person. So you enter your work into competitions. And I'm just curious, is this something that you do on like regular basis with different different places? Is this something where like you take an image and it just feels right, and then you submit it for a competition? How does that, like, tell us more about that?
So I don't really. Sometimes I do shoot specifically for competitions. Occasionally I'll have an idea of like, this would be a cool competition image. I'm going to go out and do it. But this picture right here, it just happened to be a good picture we got during his session. I was like, hey, this could be in a competition. I'm happy that this turned out the way it did. This picture actually just won best senior photo for West Virginia as a whole. This picture we're looking at right here. But I didn't plan for it to be a competition image. It just kind of worked out that way.
Very cool. I saw this photo. I think I saw you standing next to the photo. Was it at Sync or another?
Yeah, that was at Sync. Yeah. So I showed up at Sync, and so we had the competition for Sync happen a week before the actual event. We watched it online, and it did well. It didn't win any award or anything like that for Sync. And so I showed up and I walk in, I was like, holy smokes, this is printed. I mean, it was a big, I don't remember the exact size. I think it was a 16 by 20, probably. It was a big print.
Yeah.
And I was so excited and so happy to see that in a print, because I'd never seen it printed before. And to walk into a surprise like that, it was and then I turned around and I saw another one, because I had two of my images that got printed. And I was like, talk about an awesome feeling. It was so cool. It was so cool.
Yeah, totally. And I was looking at this one and I'm like, how many shots did that take? Just to catch him in this perfect pose. Like, was luck part of it, or did you guys just, like, how many times did you have him jump through that?
I would say it was probably around 10 shots.
That's
It
yeah.
took us 10 tries. He's an amazing athlete, this kid. I mean,
Uh-huh. Mhm.
absolutely he could almost repeat it identically every time. The problem was I wasn't pushing the button at the right time, or when I did, the focus
Yeah.
was on his foot and not his face.
Yeah.
So I was like, "Oh, do you mind to try it one more time, please?" And he was great. I said, "If you're feeling tired, let's take a break. I don't want you to get injured doing this." But
Yeah.
he was all for it. And so about 10 times I think it took us to get this one. But the crazy thing about this shot is the day before I actually threw my back out. So I was down in my back for this entire session and
Oh man.
I could barely move. There's a video, a behind the scenes video from this session. And, the end of it is an outtake of me laying on the ground and my son has to come and actually help me off the ground because I'm in so much pain. But, yeah, so that kind of always tell people that I was down on my back when I took this shot, and I think that's fun. But no, there is a video of this. You can go watch it. You can watch him jump over the thing many times, so and
Oh,
see.
okay. It's Matt. It's pretty scary knowing that you are winning competitions with like herniated discs. Like, what can you do?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was bad. That was
I
a
mean,
bad day. It was a bad day.
congrats. So when things are
Thank you.
good, things are great. I always ask photographers like, what do you? Because people are always curious. You know, when somebody's blocked mentally and they're like, I don't know, like, what if this happens? What if that happens? So I always ask a question like, what if things go south a little bit? Where like you're on the shoot. Like, did you ever had a situation with the senior where I don't know, kid wouldn't smile or the light or battery would like die mid shoot or something wrong with cards? Did you ever had a moment like this?
I've had wind pick up before, and I'm like, "Guys, this is just impossible." I mean, we tried, and it was with a girl that had the longest hair ever, and it's wrapping around her face, and my light's blowing away. I'm like, "This is just not going to work today. I mean, this is a problem." So it was something like that happens, I would reschedule. As far as kids like not wanting to smile or not cooperate, I've never really had that kind of issue. Like I said, I just let them be themselves. If they don't want to smile, then hey, don't smile. That's who
Yeah,
you are, and we'll make you not smiling look good. We'll figure
yeah,
out a way to make you look like you, no matter how you feel at your session. So I wouldn't necessarily call that a problem. I did have a light. I should talk about volume photography, something I never ever do. I was doing volume photography about an hour away from my house.
yeah,
I showed up and my light broke. It wasn't the battery was dead. It was completely broken forever.
yeah.
This about 5 minutes before we were supposed to start. And I was like, I don't know what to do. I
Ouch.
said, I can't just reschedule. Everyone's here. Everyone's in their football pads. It was like 5 football teams. And I was like,
Yeah,
we'll shoot this natural light. I mean, it'll be good. It won't be the exact same. I'll
yeah,
probably adjust the pricing a little because this isn't what you hired me for. I'm not delivering to my full potential. So I would work with them price wise, probably.
yeah. Makes sense. That's a tough pill to swallow, and we all have been there. So thanks
Yeah.
for being
Yes.
vulnerable with us.
Sure.
The question is, um, parents are parents on location with you most of the time, 50-50, most maybe I don't know, maybe they're not there.
I can't think of a session where a parent wasn't there.
Oh, okay. Are
Most
they
of the time, the parents are there with me. Yeah.
are they
Most
paying
of
the
the time,
ass
the parents are
or
my assistant. I mean, they're
oh,
helping. Yeah,
yeah.
so
Oh, totally. Are they so it sounds like they're most of the time they're maybe not paying the ass. They're
no,
cooperating most of the time.
that yeah, I've never had to pull a parent aside and be like, "Hey, why don't you just back off a second? Let them breathe a minute." No, they're like, "We trust you, do your thing, and we're gonna stand here, and we just wanna watch the process." I'm not saying that won't ever happen. I'm sure eventually I'll run into someone that may, be a little bit more involved than I would like, but I'm not so far. I've been again. I'm a lucky guy, so I've gotten
Yeah,
lucky.
sweet. Ever had a parent or senior complain about like after the fact? So you've delivered photos and then maybe you got some like negative feedback.
This is a weird one. One time, I had a person reach out and said, "Hey, I really like the ones you sent me. Do you have any more that don't have my face in them?" And I'm like, Because, we took some walking away shots, and, some of those I'll skip them. I won't edit them because I just didn't love them. I'm like, I mean, the session, you don't want your face. It's like, nah, I want less pictures of my face. I'm like, well, 99% of the session was of your face. I'll dive back in and I'll look, and, I sent them a couple more and they're like, thank you. So it wasn't really negative feedback, but they did want pictures that I didn't edit for them. You know what I mean? They weren't necessarily happy with the ones I chose for them. So yeah.
Got it. Is there like a busy season for you? I don't know what to call it, but like, is there a time of the year where the work just piles up with seniors? Do they wake up a certain time? I don't know, end of the school year or something?
We're about a week away from that.
Okay.
When spring rolls around, it starts really getting heated up. And also spring and fall are both wild. That's a wild time in my life.
How do you survive? Do you just plow through it? You close your eyes and whatever
Yeah,
happens?
yeah. Well, it's a lot easier to survive this go round. So I'm entering my first spring season as a full-time professional photographer. I left my day job in December of last year, so I'll have a little bit more time to breathe now. I can take on more clients because I can focus solely
Yeah.
on photography now, and I don't have to think about waking up at 7 and getting to my job and not having 8.5 hours to edit or something like that. So I'm hoping this will be a little bit easier, but before that, it was power through. Sleep is overrated. You can sleep in summertime after the busy season is over. So it gets tough though. It definitely gets tough.
Yeah, no, makes sense. Let's talk about a little bit about, so let's say there's somebody in the audience watching, whether on your side, my side, photographers always want to learn. So like the process, you already mentioned most of the traffic comes from word of mouth, just people
Yes.
recommending you, probably
Yep.
social media. I mean, you're super active on social media. I don't know if that's intentional or you were just sharing, but like are you posting daily almost?
Yeah, but it's not planned. Sometimes I'll just be like, "Oh, there's something. I'll post that.
Yeah.
Why not?" Um,
Yeah.
yeah, like I said, I like these. I like social interaction. I enjoy. A lot of people say I hate the social media part of it. That's my
Yeah.
favorite.
Yeah.
I love interacting with other people. So if it kind of worries me sometimes. I will go maybe a week without posting. I have nothing to post. I'm like, I need to get something going. I need to post something. I don't know what it is. A thank you for the support kind of a post, something.
Yeah.
But there's times when it just all that interaction dies out, and I'm like, huh, what am I going to do? I feel like I need it. I just love it. That's a fun part of it. So yeah, I just
Yeah.
post. I wouldn't say daily, but often.
Frequently,
It's a
yeah,
lot.
frequently.
Yeah.
I saw your gallery of photos, and the cool thing about that was it wasn't just like your work, the intentional senior photography work, but like you had photography there from like school events, you know what I mean? So like something that attracts a lot of traffic because those things
Mhm.
are being shared, maybe not necessarily your senior work, but like people just, I mean, they congregate watching those things, and like word spreads around because you have a nice mix of like an event photography and then your senior photography, and obviously if
Right.
more seniors are looking, then more seniors
Yep.
will book, right?
Right. Yeah,
that's
and
that's
a lot, with my behind the scenes videos, I would say that's when my social media traffic really picked up because I wasn't just gaining interaction with seniors and their parents. All of a sudden, photographers are kicking. Oh yeah, I like that video you posted. That it's nice to see your process and how you do that. So the behind the scenes videos has been something that I've really incorporated heavily. Um, for other photographers because the seniors don't really care about that. I mean, they are excited. It's like, hey, we get to be in the video, but yeah. So I do that for the photographer.
Yeah, they may not. I gotta tell you, they may not. Seniors may not care, but I think I'm big on authority. Meaning, like if seniors see you do your work, it
Yep.
automatically makes you legitimate. This is somebody that they
Right.
have seen.
Yeah.
So I think that's brilliant. I know, Joey does the same thing, and
Yeah. Yeah.
people love it.
Yeah.
Booking
Well, I
process.
mean, sorry, real quick,
Yeah,
a
yeah,
lot of the things that I do come from things that he does. He's if I had to name like the biggest inspiration, it would be him. He's up there with one of them. Just my style of lighting is, if you look at his work, my work looks like I'm trying to be like him. I saw he's doing behind the scenes videos. I was like, hey, I like that. I learned a lot from his videos. I'll make my own videos and I'll start doing the same thing. So, I'm happy that I get to call him a friend now instead of just an inspiration that seems like someone I'll never get to meet. But, now he's my buddy and that's really cool. So,
yeah. That's awesome, and don't take credit away from you with the speed that you're going at. Like Joey will probably be
yeah.
learning from you soon. You were probably the only two people working at WPPI because I saw you guys were doing a shoot on one day or 2 days.
Yeah,
Or
oh well, there was a lot of people taking pictures. You kind of had to fight the crowd at times in
yeah,
certain areas, but we
yeah.
found this secret wing of this casino, and there was nobody there. And I was like, let's just shoot right here. I mean, it was crazy. There was nobody there, so we had
Yeah,
the whole wing to ourselves, and that was really
nice.
cool.
Nice. I'm segueing out. So back to the booking
Sorry.
process. So what happens? What happens when? How does that physically look like? I want to shoot. I want to work with you. I reach out. I don't know, over email. Is there like a link, something page they go? Do we set up a consultation? How does that process work?
This this is also not my strongest area.
Okay.
It's all mostly done through social media. It's a
Oh, okay.
Facebook message from a parent or a senior. The senior will message like, "Hey, can I schedule?" I'm like, "Have your parent message me," because I will speak with the seniors, but if I'm doing any kind of official booking or anything like that, it has to come from a parent.
Yeah.
And my website. Sometimes I'll get emails through the website, and when I get an email from the website, it's typically more of an outside of my area message. So I've taken some pictures in New York, and that was done through website email because they saw my website before they saw my Facebook.
Yeah.
So the farther stuff out kind of works through email, but the more local is very much a DM Matt and set something up kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Makes sense.
I'm
Um,
hoping to make that a little bit better, a little bit easier down the road. My wife is actually working on my website right now and trying to help. She handles that whole business side of that for me. So she's trying to make that a little bit easier.
yeah.
And
Those poor wives, they're always involved. Mine was involved for 17 years. I was, I was doing this.
I mean, honestly, I would be completely lost without her help. I mean, because I'm not good at that at all. I don't know how to build a website. I've never built a website in my entire life, but like she's handy and she seems to enjoy it. At least she pretends to enjoy it around me. So I'm super grateful to have her help me with all that. So
Yeah, there's a secret to Matt's photography. His wife's secret weapon.
I mean, just honestly, I'm gonna take 10 seconds, give her a little bit more credit. When I'm out on location, taking pictures, out at conference, doing whatever, she's home watching the kids and keeping things together. And
Yeah.
I'm so grateful and lucky to have her in my life. I don't want to cry or anything, but like for real, I couldn't without her. This would be impossible. So she is MCC Photos just as much as I am, just on like a whole different, just in more of a behind the scenes role. So she needs her
What's
credit, and I'm going to give it to her. So I didn't mean to
what's her?
hijack the podcast here, but I
No,
had to do
no,
that.
no.
So I'm
That's
sorry.
why we're that's
Sorry.
why we're here. You got to score those brownie points. What's her name?
Sure. Her name's Whitney Canterbury. So
Whitney.
shout out Whitney.
Shout out to Whitney. Whitney, thank you for being the secret weapon and supporting Matt,
Yes.
because it
Yes.
wouldn't happen without you.
Yes. Very much.
The process. So we have the booking now done. Do you send them any instructions? Do they know what to expect? Do you tell them like, hey, just show up with your stuff and it's gonna take an hour
Kinda.
or two?
Yeah. It pretty much. I mean, I'll like I said, most of them know me.
Yeah.
And we will have a conversation. Like, I work slower. I'm not going to be we're not going to take 1,000 pictures. It's going to be slower. It's going to be a trial and error process. Trust the process. It might take a minute each pose. It's not going to be a run and gun type thing. So Bring your stuff, plan for a long evening.
Yeah.
We'll take break, so I do have that conversation. Most of the time they know what they're getting into. But it's all a very casual conversation. I don't have a nice pamphlet made that says, lays out step by step how it's going to roll. It's just me talking to them. Yeah.
Very cool. What about after the shoot? Do they get, like, when do they see the work? I'm sure they're peeking on the back of their, like, your camera as you're probably taking photos. But when is their first interaction? Do you send them like a teaser day after, same day, or week after? How does that work?
Typically, I try to turn around within 24 hours. So whenever I'm doing my scheduling, I purposely don't schedule another senior the day after, or even 2 days after that one senior session, because I don't want to interact with another. I don't want to move on to another client until I have satisfied the one that is currently paying me. So typically within 24 hours, they have their full gallery edited and returned to them.
Okay.
Typically.
And
Sometimes sorry, go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. Go ahead. Finish the sentence, the thought.
Don't even remember what it was now. It's gone.
Okay.
My memory doesn't retain stuff as well as it used to anymore.
Same here. Guilty as charged. You mentioned the gallery. Is gallery the only thing they're getting? Do your clients get something physical, tangible?
If they request, most of my, again, this goes back to me being a terrible at pricing and not a great businessman. Most of them just want digitals. I'll offer prints, metals, albums, stuff like that if they want it, but it's rarely requested. A lot of people tell me to kind of change my business model into more of a, selling items, but I haven't yet. I don't know. Again, this is back to pricing and me not being good at it. So currently they get digitals. Yeah.
A lot of photographers swear by a lot of feedback, and like what I'm getting from interviews is they swear by, like, changing delivery process to being more like, instead of just sending an online gallery thing access, with a password, they say it's like a sit down and, like, show them and then sell the product. I don't know if it works.
Yeah.
I was gallery only for a very, very, very long time. So it's something to experiment for both you and me, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I know a lot of people that go that route, and they would be a great resource to contact. And I've spoken with them before, but making that switch it's scary. It's a scary switch to make because it changes your whole business model and all that. So I don't like change very much. So
nobody does. Nobody does.
Right.
For reviews, do you actually ask them for reviews or referrals? Testimonials, any sort of Google review, go there, do this for me.
I've reached out to some of my closest clients, their parents, and be like, hey, if you don't mind, if you have 5 minutes, would you write up just a thank you or a Matt did great, whatever, or, even if Matt did bad, whatever, just write something, just because I'm trying to build up this. I've only got like 20 reviews on my Facebook page, I think. And some of them are bots saying, we're going to cancel your Facebook page if you don't do something, which is super random. But it's funny. I'm getting a little off, but I do have those bots that show up randomly, and they'll write this whole, we're going to cancel your Facebook page, but they still give me a 5-star rating, which I think is kind of funny. But aside from that, parents will, I have reached out personally before and like, hey, if you don't mind, throw something up. That would be awesome. Only the ones that I'm really close with.
Yeah. Cool. Let's do a quick fire. So we'll switch gears a little bit. Those are short questions. I mean, you can, if you need to take, if there's a longer answer, just go ahead and then provide it.
Okay.
Other than that, I'll just ask a question, quick answer, next question, quick answer.
I'll do my best. Sure.
Yeah. So, favorite lens for seniors? Like, if I got rid of all of your lenses and you could just pick one, what would you do?
It's a 85 millimeter, 1.2. That's messed.
Because a lot of times I saw you shooting from distance, like maybe like a 200 millimeter lens or something. Do you do that often?
I love that lens too. You're asking me the most impossible question ever in a rapid fire. 85 or 70 to 200. It's so hard to pick between those two, but I think the 85 gives me a look that is you can't get anywhere else.
Gotcha.
So
Gotcha.
I would have to say 85.
Yeah. If you were not shooting, what would your friends say that you would do, like for your job? What's the other thing that you would do or you're good at?
Oh gosh, I don't know. Music. I would hope they would say music, but no one has ever asked me to sing for them. Um, I don't know. I don't know that I have a good answer for that. I would probably just go back to my day job and just do that because
What did you do
that
for
worked
your
good for
day job?
me.
I'm just curious.
I was doing research and development for a chemical company.
Oh wow. Okay.
It sounds really fancy, and somebody's doing a fancier thing than I was doing. I was kind of
Yeah.
just doing, I was pushing the buttons they told me to push.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
kind of a job.
After a while, job is a job, right?
Yeah, I
Every
mean,
job is a job.
it was a good job. It paid well. It was
Yeah.
consistent. The people were good, so I just
Yeah.
chose photography.
Believe it or not, for my next question, I had one thing your wife does that saves your sanity, but I think you've kind of answered that question
Oh
before.
yeah, she does everything. She does everything but take the pictures and edit. So the rest of the business is her.
Yeah.
So
Dream location for a senior shoot. If there's like anywhere, no
geez.
rules, where would you shoot?
Iceland looks incredible. Every time I've seen a picture from Iceland, I'm like, I have got to get to Iceland. So I would say somewhere like around the waterfalls in Iceland. That would
Yeah.
be incredible. Incredible.
That's crazy. That's cool. Yeah. Anybody watching from Iceland, you know who to contact.
Please call me.
if you could swap lives with any celebrity for a day, who would that be?
Oh Lord. Probably James Hetfield from Metallica, so I could live that rock star life for a day. That would be the ultimate. That would be so cool.
Did you hear about the new concert event thing at Sphere with Metallica?
Yes, I did. I was at the Sphere. I went when I was in Vegas. We went and watched a thing at the Sphere, and I was telling my wife, I was like, Metallica's going to be in here, and that is going to be nuts because that's the craziest experience. I don't know if anyone's ever been to the Sphere or not, but my gosh, yeah, it was wild. There's nothing like it in the world. Nothing.
We're going to segue again, but that's fine. I got to tell you, I was at the Sphere, and I think I'm too old because I wasn't petrified, but like my legs were shaking as I was like
it's up
going.
There.
Oh my god! Yeah. It's just the angle or something. I don't know.
It's there was people in front. There was a guy in front of me that had to leave because he was scared. Like he was like, I'm sick. Like because I'm not scared of heights, but it's a problem for people that are scared of heights because it's steep. It is very steep.
Totally. All right. Next question. Favorite junk food? Don't lie. Be honest.
Oh, I won't lie. I'm open about it. Reese cups are like the holiday shapes, the eggs, the Christmas trees, any kind of Reese's cup shape is my weakness, and Little Debbie Christmas trees. I mean that's my gotta have those.
What's your go-to post shoot unwind? Is it like Netflix, beer? Do you go for a walk? What do you do?
No, it's probably we're huge New York Knicks fans, so we're watching basketball and I'm having a Diet Coke and some kind of chocolate in one form or another. That's my unwind for sure.
Gotcha. What's the one thing you hate about being a photographer? Is it like doing taxes? Is it late nights? Is it parents? Like what's the pain peeve?
Well, it would be taxes, but again, my wife handles that. Late nights get hard after a while. They definitely do. Last night was 2:00 in the morning night. So the lates, if I could get rid of that, that would be awesome. Yeah. And sometimes when it's really hot, shooting outside in the heat is woof. It's I'd rather be cold when it gets 100 degrees outside. That's kind of a miserable shoot also. So
yeah, that was my thing when we were moving 6 years ago to Florida. I'm like, oh, it's great because it's always sunny here, but like try shooting here. It's like shooting in Texas, in the heat.
Right.
Totally. All right. So the next question is the one thing that you're secretly proud of that nobody sees. I know I had an example here of like 2 a.m., but you said kind of not your thing.
Yeah.
And I was thinking when you receive the awards, the accolades, maybe those are
Yeah.
one of the, maybe that's the moment. Maybe it's interacting with somebody. Maybe it's seeing the face, the reaction to your work. Like what would it be?
Yeah. So yeah, I love receiving the accolades. I'm very proud of that. I love being able to when I'm able to make a connection with another photographer or a client or someone, and it's like I show them a picture and they're like, you can see it on their face. They're like, I've never felt this good about myself in ever in my life. Like when you show them that and they get that reaction, that's what it's all about for me. And that's when I get super proud. Or, if I'm helping another photographer and teaching them lighting or something, and they take their first picture with a light and it's what they wanted it to look like. And you see it click in their on their face. And that's an amazing feeling. That's really, really something that I'm pretty proud of. Yeah. When those
That's
moments
cool.
happen.
That's cool. Um, let's move from quickfire to let's talk about your future a little bit, or like future
Okay.
plans. I'm
Sure.
just curious because photographers are always like gearheads. They always have something next on their list. I'm just curious, like, are you eyeing something? Camera, light, anything?
I'm always eyeing new gear. I think that's a weakness for all of us. Uh, Honestly, I'm eyeing a more active YouTube presence is probably my next biggest goal. Something that I'm
Yeah,
excited for. I'm trying to make the switch from Reels on Instagram and Facebook, and try to get more into a YouTube world.
yeah,
So I would say probably that. But if I could, I also really want a new medium format camera that is way out of my price range. So if I could buy some gear, that would be cool too.
totally. I think it was the interview with Yannick Vashek earlier this month, last month, I think, and he mentioned the medium format.
Oh,
And
yeah.
since that time, I'm clicking, I'm going onto websites I have no business being on.
Yeah, there was a guy at Sync that had a medium format camera, and he was walking around to me, and I was like, "Can I hold that? Like, can I just get close to it just for a second?" And he let me hold it and take a few pictures, and I immediately messaged my wife. I was like, "If we have $20,000 laying around, I would love this camera and lens. Please let me buy this." And, of course, it's a joke, but that's the
Because it's
dream
not
camera, one of those.
because it's not just camera. Lenses are expensive too for the
It's
medium format.
insane. Oh gosh, the whole thing's I mean, even the camera strap for a medium format camera is probably $500 for no reason, just because it just seems like it's so expensive. But
Yeah,
I
yeah,
would love one. I would love one. So,
totally. AI, I gotta ask about AI. Is it part of your workflow anywhere? I don't know, calling images, selections or correcting
um,
or basic corrections. I don't know.
I will use it for some basic stuff like
Yeah.
blemish removal.
Uh-huh.
Avoto, I think everyone uses Avoto. If they
Yeah.
don't use Avoto, they're probably using it in secret, not telling anybody, because of that's an awesome program. I
Yeah.
don't use a lot. I'm not like changing the entire image with AI. I'm not going that route. If
Yeah.
anything, it's to remove a stray hair,
Yep.
here and there. I'm not
Yep.
like circling this and like change this car to a turtle and make it purple. I'm not changing the scene ever with
Yeah.
AI. I
You're
don't.
not you're not creating with it per se. It's more of a automation thing.
Right. Unless I specifically says like, "Hey, I have this idea. I would love a model to come take some pictures with me for the purpose of getting crazy with AI for no reason."
Yeah. Sure.
Sometimes I'll get bored and I'll just go do something. But when I'm doing that, I'm making it very obvious that this is a fun with AI kind of shoot.
Yeah.
Um,
And
yeah.
speaking of when you're bored and you get those crazy ideas, I'm just curious, like for the future, at least the way you feel today, because it may change any day. But like, do you think you will be sticking with seniors? Do you think I don't know? Do you think you're gonna venture? It's a guess to like I don't know, dark side like weddings or something.
Oh, I've already ventured into that dark side, and I ventured out pretty quickly. The wedding world is not for me. I am doing a wedding. I do videography some,
Yeah,
and I had someone that's pretty close to me reach out. It's like, "Will you do my daughter's wedding video?" And I'm like, I was hesitant, but I ultimately I did it. Um, Seniors works great for me. It's not ever failed me. It doesn't have to be senior, but just portrait. It could be. I would like to. I would love to find some person with like weathered skin one day, like old, like an older person, like looks like they've really lived. They've seen some stuff. I would love to kind of get that person
Yeah.
and set them down in the studio and do some kind
Yeah.
of a fun black and white portrait or something with them. That would be fun. But
Yeah.
seniors, I like
Yeah.
seniors. It's fun.
Yeah, totally. You gotta feel it. The people you mentioned, the people. I'm not so much like the studio working with those people, but like
Right?
street photography is something that I would like to
Yeah.
try at one point. With individuals like that, where it can just kind of selectively pick from the crowd.
Yeah,
Um,
that'd be cool.
yeah, makes sense. On your website, you have I don't know if I choose the right name, but like a tutorial, right?
Yep.
You have videos where somebody can go, and is it like behind the scenes sort of thing? Tell me more about it. Like, what do you do in those tutorials?
Yeah, so it's a start to finish. I set up my light. I have it set up to where you can see through my lens. You see exactly what I'm seeing as I'm setting up my light. And then I'll walk through the process of, how I set my ambient exposure and then what it looks like. If your light power is too high, I'll take a picture and say, "Oh, this is what happened here. How do we fix it?" And then we fix it in real time. That way, because a lot of people are going to take really bad pictures. You got to know how to fix them. So, I show the worst side of it. We dial it back, and then I show maybe it's underexposed. What's wrong here? And then in real time, we just make adjustments. We move the light an inch, 2 inches, up or down, back and forth, and you just see that in real time. You see how long it takes to create an image and what you need to do to overcome any issues that may happen, because they happen a lot. So it's
Yeah,
just it's a real casual, real time, me working and talking about what I'm doing kind of thing.
yeah, very very cool. As you were talking, obviously, I switched over just to kind of show
Sure.
you guys where you can find it. It's on Matt's website under for photographers section, and you can find them there. But I have a question, and I don't mean to implant ideas in your head. Ideas are like parasites; they tend to stick
Sure.
around. But like, were you ever planning? Because you mentioned YouTube. Can we in the future expect something from Matt in terms of like a longer version, one-on-one workshop, something, or are you going to just stick to those mini tutorials?
No, there's some talk of I'm not going to get too deep into it because it's so on the uh the first floor
But
of what yeah,
hoping
we're
phase, yeah,
just talking. Yeah. But an in-person workshop is something we're throwing around. We don't know when, we don't know where, we kind of know who. Um, so that is something for sure.
nice.
And these I am doing these online classes also. So one-on-one mentors and stuff like that. So I'll welcome people in and help them in editing classes and stuff like that.
If
So
somebody
yes,
wanted,
and in person. Go ahead. Sorry.
if somebody wanted to do a one-on-one with you, what's the process? Do they just go onto your website and just send you a message?
It is getting built again as we speak. My wife is working on that to make it a little bit easier for people to sign up for those kind of things, because right now it's still kind of a shoot me a message on Facebook
Yeah,
thing, and I want to make that, as things escalate, because things are moving pretty quickly for me. I need to make that a little bit easier for people to sign up for. So eventually it'll be through my website. Right now it's still kind of a shoot me a message
yeah,
situation.
yeah. Totally makes sense. Um, so speaking of teaching others on how to do things, let's do this fictional um, training. So
Okay.
you have a trainee. Somebody shows up on the shoot. Let's say we're at local high school. There is a senior that they're going to work with. What would you advise this person to do? So, like, do you when they show up, it's like, hey, scout the location first, or do you always have like a go-to locations? Like, what would you tell them to do?
I mean, knowing your location is always nice. It's it's nice to know where you're going. Um, you talking if I was teaching a photographer is what is your question.
Somebody shows up. Let's say I said, hey, Matt, you're going to, can you teach me how to take a senior portrait? We're showing up at the local high school. Where are we going? Do we have a location? Let's say we go into a gym, right?
Okay.
And then what are we doing with lighting? What would you advise me to do? Let's pretend I have what's needed, right? So what are we grabbing from the car?
Grab our camera, first thing. We get a camera, we get a light, we get a big modifier and a stand. And we'll go in. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take a picture with no flash at all. And it's going to be dark and it's going to look awful. You're going to be like, what in the world is this? There's the famous saying, no flash, no picture. I'm sure you've heard someone say that before. And I'm going to explain why what we're doing. We're removing the ambient light from the scene, because typically if we're in a gym, the ambient light is ugly. It's yellow. It's gross. So we're going to add our own lights. So that's our first thing. We're going to take a picture that looks like nothing, and it's going to be weird. It's going to look like nothing.
Then we're adding lights. Is there like a go-to setting at the beginning, like when you're guessing? I mean, you kind of probably know already, but like, is there an f-stop, an ISO that you go to immediately?
If I have a lens that goes to 1.2, I'm starting at 1.2 because I paid a lot of money for that lens to go to 1.2, and by golly, I'm going to go to 1.2. I'm kind of bad for shooting wide open all the time. I know a lot of people like that F10, F8 world, and I'll do it, but I'm starting wide open every time. So I use the high-speed sync. I'm dialing my shutter down to 1/8,000th of a second at times.
Can you, for somebody that doesn't know how high speed sync works, can you give them like a 2-sentence explanation?
I wish I knew how it worked, to a more scientific way. I know what it does, but how it actually works,
what does it do?
So it allows you to shoot past your camera's sync speed. So most cameras' sync speed is probably 1/200th of a second, 1/250th. It's going to vary, but most of them, when you're using lights, they will not allow you to shoot with a shutter speed faster than that, because whenever the light fires, the light will actually catch your shutter going down and closing. So you'll have a picture that shows half the picture, and then the top is black because it caught the shutter during the flash cycle. What high speed sync does is it creates this burst effect as the light. You can't really see it with your eye, but it's bursting, and it allows you to shoot past that. So if you're limited to a 1/200th of a second, it's hard to cancel out ambient light in a room, because you can't without changing your aperture. You would have to stop down to f14 or whatever. And like I said, I want to shoot wide open, so I'm leaving that sucker at 1.2. So if you use high speed sync, you can go faster than your shutter sync speed, or you can use an ND filter, which that's fine too. I like the high speed sync route because it's just a little bit easier. That's a very down and dirty description of high speed sync. There's a better description somewhere out there in the world.
No, you did a better job than I would probably, but it is. It's like a lot of times you see photographers online sharing those photos with the shutter, with the curtain kind of halfway, asking what am I doing wrong? So that's exactly what Matt is talking about. So now we have the kind of light dialed in, the camera in place. And then you said that it takes a little bit of time for the seniors to like dial in right into the session.
Yeah.
So what do you do? Do you just take some casual photos? Like, you're not going for the actual poses, or do you actually go for poses and crossing fingers?
Yeah. We're getting started. And when we get there, I'm typically going to start with a more easier, let's put the ball on your hip and let's stand there, and we'll take what I call like a pretty standard senior looking photo. And then start joking with them. Once they open up, I'll be like, you want to try something a little bit more difficult now. It might take some time. I'm going to put the ball over your head. I'm going to put your arms in weird locations. I'm going to try the light over here. But we're diving in as soon as we get started. I mean, we do we tiptoe into the harder stuff, but we get going pretty soon.
And then what's the advice on like, I don't know, multiple, like, is it just one location, multiple poses, or is it 3 poses per location? Like, what's your math?
Yeah. sometimes we'll pack up. We'll spend, I don't want to spend less than 30 minutes anywhere, because sometimes it takes me 20 minutes just to get my stuff set up, so we'll shoot quickly in one area. They're like, yeah, my kid, he likes baseball. It's okay. It's not his whole world. He's really into soccer. Can we do 5 minutes of baseball and then do the rest of it in soccer, or, whatever the situation may be. But I have done some 4 location stops during a session before, but it's pretty rapid. What I'll say to them is like, we can definitely do that. The travel time is part of the session. So the more we move, the less pictures you're going to get. If you're cool with that, I'm cool with that. I don't mind. So it's always a conversation. Yeah.
Makes sense. Yeah. And then you just shoot away, and that's it.
Yeah,
and you
shoot away.
Because we've covered the workflow already. I want to point folks to, just want to show them where they can find you. So this is the main website for Matt. I think it's been updated even lately from the version.
I'm telling you, she's working as we speak. I mean, it could change here. And I mean, she's at work right now, but she was up late last night.
Oh my God. Wow. Yeah.
No, I can she's tell, working hard.
I think like a week ago I was looking and it looked different. So kudos again.
It's very different.
I already showed, so the portfolio you guys can scan through, all the photos are there, examples. We already mentioned that for photographers to contact Matt, there's a form, so you can just fill it out. Is there another place you send them? Your Facebook profile, probably?
Yeah, Facebook. And so my Instagram is basically an exact mirror of my Facebook, but I do Facebook first. Facebook is always my first stop for posting. Any updates that I do, like I have a new class coming up. Again, the website is going to eventually have more detail there, but as of right now, if you want the most up-to-date information, Facebook is where it's at.
Yeah,
that's where I do all my posting.
You guys saw me. I kind of switched between Matt's personal. I think the business-wise is probably the correct route, or it doesn't matter.
Yep, the business one. Yep. I mean, if you want to be my friend on Facebook, you can watch me eat chocolate, because I talk about other stuff completely separate from photography. I think I have fun on my personal page too, but my professional page, if you want to follow about my photography, that's the place to be. So, for sure.
Yeah. Matt, we have arrived. I just wanted to thank you, because you're moving at, we're talking about the light a lot, and I think you're moving at a lightning speed, given it's been 5 years. I'm learning from you. I know there's a lot of folks learning from you and looking up to you. So thanks for sharing the gold today with the audience, your audience, my audience. This has been really great conversation. I appreciate having you. Time well spent.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I've had a blast. I hope we get to do it again soon. I mean, it was so much fun. I'm sad that it's over.
Bye, man. Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you. Have a good one.